The Inferno 37 is 9.
We are live and away. Post that in the chat.
Josh Fulton is 5th. Nick Cruz from United States is P3. Rev 174 is 6th. Parmesan is P1. DLRT Articulate Fox is 2nd.
Alright, and that is up. Hopefully we'll see if we can get a few more of those guys to kind of show up for
Brett
this
Anderson,
one.
TPPS 43, is 8th.
TBD. In the meantime, let's make sure I got everything else loaded, which I do. We've got Martinsville today. It'll be a fun one. Let's get rid of some of the usuals here as we go live with Parmesan, our man up top at 22.72. Got a couple other guys in those 22.7 seem to have found their ideal lines through. Might involve a little bit of pushing, but they are making that push a clean one. So with that, we give them a fair amount of respect. It's a very short oval, as you guys have seen here before. I think you saw it in our open race with Speed Bumps AI broadcast. Should be a fun one. Currently looking for a few more racers to join that rookie grid. Not a ton of them tonight. A bit of a shame. We're going to look into maybe combining the grids for the final event of the season, I think. Things continue to shape up this way. Not a lot to learn, so to speak, on the oval track, but, you know, enough to gain. This lighting isn't the most favorable at the time with those heavy clouds in the background due to the light fog, but it will let up over time. Currently, we got a 16km/h headwind on one side, tailwind on the other. So these guys get a little bit of a taste of that one there. You can see the pit box is looped all the way around that corner there, so definitely a tricky one. Thankfully, it's only two 20-minute races, so not going to come into play for the short oval today. I thought about it, really did, but it seemed like this was going to be an easier way to go about it. Only 20 minutes after all, so might as well keep powering through. Parmesan, we've launched a few laps by. He's kind of racing on his own. Let's take a look and see how bump drafting comes into play. We've got Woohoo Man trying to chase down looks like Brett Anderson in the Minnesota Wild. Happy to see him back on track. Daylight saving times did, I'm sure, mess things up a little bit for some of our racers, but we'll see who ends up back on the grid. You see Marty McBride has made his way back on for the first time in a little bit, so it'll be nice to see him in today's event. Trying to get all of our standings pulled up here. There we go. That'll help me out just a touch. Getting things moving. Well, let me see if I can just do that. There we go. Now we can see the full class standings up above, or at least I can keep track of what these battles are going on. So Marty's been out a few races. starting off the back foot actually. Looks like they're going to try and chase down Woohoo Man in today's event. El Carrito hitting the grid for the second time today. This is going to be his second oval base. Really makes you wonder how much he loves them. Thinking these might be his new favorite type of thing. Kind of the gist that I'm getting. 12.5 minutes remaining of practice, and then we've got a 30-minute qualifying session. With such short laps, again, you don't really see everybody hit the track right away, so I'm sure we'll see a few more join in the back half. But definitely seems like the grid is slowing down as we reach the end of our season. I think everybody's ready for a fresh start here. 7 weeks is a long commitment. These guys have been going, I want to say, since last year is when the season begun. So that's quite the spread due to holidays and all that other stuff. I believe we'll start in December of last year. So really a nice long drawn out season. This is only week 6. They still have one more week to go, but they are powering their way through. The nice thing about these short tracks is you can see all those times close together. I mean, that's really what we're looking for, is a tight-knit grid. These guys are trying to give us that. I know we see talks of maybe Patchy joining in at some point. Still looking for a few more over in that rookie race. I've said before, we're going to say it again. As Josh Fulton heads back into the pits. Going to try and reset. So you can really get a nice full view of the grid, just where it lies. So as you can see, these guys don't have a lot of room to run, not a lot of room for mistakes. There is only really 2 points that you gotta really focus and power through, so we'll see how well these guys are able to do so. Ryan Anderson getting a little company here from Seb Bellew. We'll see if these guys can work together. Yeah, we're just trying to see how bump drafting comes into play on these types of straightaways. Seb definitely seems to have the better runoff, so these guys will probably get the chance to work together here in just a moment. Seb looking for that inside, Brett trying to go from the out to the in. Looks like Seb's method is working for the moment, but that Minnesota Wild flying on through until we circle back around to that inside lane. So it's too slight a bank, and these cars aren't heavy enough to really get an advantage, it seems, off the gravitational pull. Shortening the track seems to be the way to go, as we can tell. Seb getting the run. Oval races are tricky during these practice and qual sessions. Let's take a look here, see if anybody is available for a quick chat. Try and look at the standings, see who's battling for what. It looks like we've got Brian number 7 and Bont Lando pretty close together. Neither one in the track yet. Seb Bellew nipping at the heels, not available at the moment for voice chat. Same with the Inferno and Big Dean Energy. And all of our guys who are fighting are not here at the moment. Maybe we'll check in with Brett Anderson. Let's see if we can grab a comment or two from him. Move him over to the broadcast booth. Brett, I know you're out on the track, but if you want to do an interview quick, you just have to accept the invitation to speak in Discord. It would require you to pull in. I know I'm the worst. Let's see if we can nab Brett. Hey, we did. How you doing, Brett?
Not too bad. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Welcome back to the grid. We're excited to see you.
Good to be back. Good to be back.
Yeah, I see you had a pretty nice performance last week. This is one hell of an event for, I guess, your second week back. How are you feeling about your entrance to the oval?
Hey, you know what? Go fast, turn left. It's all good.
I like this attitude for sure. Now, it looks like in your rookie class, you're trying to fend off Zed Wolf and Rick 5050. Neither one are here at the moment, so your odds seem pretty good. If they do show up, what are we thinking as far as strategy tonight?
You know what? Not much strategy, just race and have fun, to be honest. So, have been away for quite a while because of hockey. So, you know, at this point, it's just get out, turn some laps, and see how we can do.
I like it. I like it. Well, have you worked on any bump drafting with anybody here or not yet?
I have not yet. So.
All right, it's all fresh. I'm excited for you. Do you have any expectations for tonight, or really this is all just enjoy it?
No, I'm just having some fun, you know, and try to pair up with whoever and see what we can do. See if I can do some damage.
I like it. Well, we'll let you get back to it then, Brett. It was nice talking to you. Good luck at the race tonight.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Adios. Head back over to the chat there. I do see 4 guys have joined over into the rookie race. Oop, as a little broadcaster curse hits Articulate Fox. We'll take a peek now. I think we got Sam GT3, also known as Sam S, out on the track. Where is he at? There he is in our Harbor Freights 1. We're going to do this a little differently this time. We're going to move over to a different one. Oh, well, actually, no, because I'm not going to do all that. We're going to move him over. Same as last time. Sam, how you doing, bud? Oh, right, I've invited you to speak. You got to accept the invitation to speak. My mistake. Yeah, I probably threw you off there. I watched the whole shebang. See if he can accept the invitation.
Yep, I got it.
There he is. How you doing, Sam?
Pretty good.
Well, we were watching some nice laps there till Broadcaster's Curse hit you a little bit, but...
Oh, no, we were trying to do the Ross Chastain wall ride move, but it didn't work out too well.
I see, I see. Well, you're starting out tonight with a pretty comfortable lead over that rookie class. Big Dean Energy and the Inferno, your only serious competition at the moment. Dean not here yet. Do you have any big plans heading into the night?
Just try not to crash, and I think if I can stay on or close to the lead lap, I'll be pretty happy.
Now, obviously, this is a less than traditional race here in this oval. Do you, is there anything that you're going to be doing differently than your normal races today?
Honestly, probably not. I tried to drive it more like Bristol, but it's such a flat track that the turns are honestly not that different than a road course left turn. It's just a whole bunch of them in a row.
Very nice, very nice. Well, it sounds like you're going to get a good little workout today. Anybody on the track you're looking out for, think you might be able to swing together some teamwork, some bump drafting here in the later stages?
Not really. I'm just trying to survive. I think staying out of trouble is going to be the biggest thing for doing well in this race.
I like your style.
I think if I can just run a clean race, then I'll be in pretty good shape. But it's an oval, so it's chaos. You never know what's going to happen.
That is a very good way to put it. Now, we're just looking at the overall season here. You're obviously doing a strong performance. Today's oval race looks like you're expecting big things. Already off to a good start in your class. Alton Park next week. It's going to be a 60-minute race, so a little bit longer than normal. Going to have a pit stop. Have you been practicing that one at all, or are you going to be wait until the week of to really get the grind down?
I'll probably start this week. I already know that track pretty well, so I think just a little bit of practice to get up to speed and down in the setup should be good to go.
All right, well, we'll let you focus up here. You know, practice is slowly coming to an end. Obviously, not a lot of time with these super long laps, but we'll let you squeeze in whichever few you can.
Yeah, hopefully I can get a dozen more laps in before the timer runs out.
Sounds about right. Good luck, bud.
Yeah, thanks.
So that was Sam S. He's going to be the current leader of the rookie grouping, leading, well, here in the pro event, he's leading Big Dean Energy and this man here, the Inferno, but not by too many points. So not sitting too comfortably, even with the drops. Really a couple strong performances from his co-classmates could change things if, as we saw someone almost going into the wall up ahead, but managing to back out in the last second. As the Inferno leads a nice little group of three here with, I want to say that's Seb Bellew at the back. Oh, nope, Rev 174. Going to be cutting to that inside as Woohoo sticks to the outer lane there. And we'll see if these guys can get a little bit of a train going, get some pace together. Come down that start-finish straight away. So who's got the first pit box? They do actually have this whole open area here, so that's kind of nice. And it'll be yours truly in the broadcast car. Kick things off. So more wraps around the front. We'll take a look here and see Woohoo Man and El Garito definitely are up there. That's actually going to be Josh Fulton's pit box in the number 23 car, I believe. I don't think we have a Krusty Krab Racer. Oh, but we do have this number 48 Parmesan is the lead pit car. So again, no pit in today's race, but that doesn't make it less exciting to kind of keep tabs on the flow. Now, El Garito mentioned they were struggling to break into those 22.7s earlier today. They were really holding on to the low 22.8s. Will they be able to make something happen in today's event? I guess that is going to be the big question. I have faith. We've seen Osh pull some pretty clutch performances when it counts. Nick Cruz shining strong, actually going up against Mogo and Dance for a battle for P2, as it seems Elias is starting to float away a little bit. Try and jump in with Mogo here in just a moment, but I think he hasn't even joined the track yet, so we'll kind of let him get settled in. Same goes for Big Dean Energy. So we'll let the two of them get rooted in, get a few laps in before we bug them. As you can hear, those powerful roaring engines of the MX5s go flying by. They don't at all sound like a buzzing batch of bees. As just like that, we've got overtime. So a lot of these guys are going to get quite a few laps here in the overtime session, just because it's going to be a short one. You see a few guys going for the Ross Chastain. I don't think it's going to work because of where that start-finish is. Start-finish is towards the end of the straightaway. It's really kind of dead in the middle. But if this was the line here, I think they would have a better choice, or a better chance. I don't think that, and on top of that, it looks like there's a little bit of glitching going on. So I think that would really be their only opportunity, because that long straightaway, you're going to want to be all wheels out and about. But we'll let AutoCam kind of bounce on for a minute as we head into overtime. I am going to step away for a moment, as is tradition. We'll let the announcer bot take over in case qualifying starts up. But a nice tight grid we've got over here, and 8 racers have managed to join in over on the rookie end of things. So picking up indeed.
The qualification session is at Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, 6 USA. The wind speed is 3 km/h from the west-southwest. Parmesan from Germany is P1. Rev 174 from United States is 6th. Josh Fulton from United States is P2.
Alright, I'm back. It
Josh
seems like just
Fulton
in time,
improved
as
his
Josh is
P1
going to
with
be
a
our first one out. To at least try and
0:23.027.
put a lap in. Looks like Fox and
DLRT
the
Articulate
DLRT
Fox
crew
from United
have
States
a
is
few
P3.
fans. Oh, and that's perfect timing. So we'll jump on with Fox here as he heads around for his clean laps. Seems like the wind did change here, so they don't have anything to help them and they don't have anything to hurt them. Might see some drops at times, who knows? Just see a few guys calling for setups and dropping setups, so a lot of people looking for help here in these early moments. Fox and Fox and Parmesan are the guys to watch at the moment. I think it was Nick Cruz and one other racer was in that 22.7s with them, I want to say. Might have just been the three of them to start things off. But as we head underway here in qualifying, we've got quite a few MX5s on the grid on a nice short track, so that'll make things a little bit more interesting. Let's take a moment to get a little interview from the man on the back foot if we can. Don't want to distract him too much, but seems like the way to go. We're going to try and grab Josh here in just a moment. I know he's in the middle of a lap. And we'll narrate it. He uses the gas to get down the straightaway. Oh, come on. I was going to do a Danica Patrick lap.
I had to push the button.
I had my Danica narration all planned out in my head. Do you remember that in Monza? All right.
Yeah.
He is going down the straightaway.
Yeah.
And Danica, it's worth noting that this is the longest straightaway in F1 calendar. Anyways, how you doing tonight, bud?
Oh, you know, excited for the chaos.
It already looks it here in qual. You got a nice tight grid going together. I mean, this is far different than what we usually do for the ovals. Does bump drafting even help at this stage?
I think if you can get them early on the straights, or use them to kind of mess somebody up later in the straights, just push them a little bit further than their breaking point. I feel like it's going to be more disruptive rather than beneficial towards the group as a whole. The bumper is definitely going to get a lot more of an advantage from it than the bumpy.
Understood. Well, you're heading into tonight's race in kind of an interesting spot. You've got room to grow, but you're kind of still in the hunt there for that last podium spot. Seb Bellew slowly dropping away from the hunt for P1 with 53 points. Rev sitting ahead of you with 49, you with 44, and Patchy and Sunday Driver nipping at your heels. So tonight's race, we do see a lot of those names out on the track. What's your strategy going into the evening? Survive, I like it.
Just survive, get through the pack, use the faster cars to my advantage by driving defensive to keep them between me and whoever's in my class.
I like it. I mean, survival has proven to be one of the best tactics throughout the season. We've seen some strong performances from guys who just made it through lap 1. And now, is there anybody that you've worked with on this track, or are you kind of flying solo into the evening?
So this is the first time I've jumped onto it today. So no, I haven't worked with anyone to get a setup put together or, you know, come up with a strategy or anything like that. I'm just gonna kind of wing it and see what happens.
I respect that about you. Well, I'll let you focus. I know 24 minutes is not a lot of time with these long laps, so hopefully you can get 1 or 2 in before qualifying ends, but good luck tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. So.
Good luck. Alright, so that was Josh Fulton there. For those who aren't familiar, Josh is, well, he's basically the dad of the server. He's the man behind the curtain. I merely am the man in front of the curtain, but make no mistake, he's pulling all the strings, so hoping to see some strong representation from that admin team here tonight. Oop, Nick Cruz sneaking around the outside. See, that's a little peek of what Josh was talking about. If you have a little too much speed and you go deep into one of these turns, the guy who's sent you a little faster, not that this was a bump drafting moment, but will have an opportunity to cut to that inside angle and make it through. Again, not exactly what happened there, but just an example of what can happen as we see the grid filling up more and more. Trying to see if anybody's particularly close together, but nothing that I can tell. As we see a few guys trying to line up their exits to see if they can catch up to APAC. We'll jump on with Big Dean Energy here. One of the guys that we were talking about earlier. So Dean's got a big challenge ahead of him. He needs to stay ahead of the Inferno in one of these races where luck really comes into play. And awareness a little bit more so. You gotta leave space at all times. I know the gut is gonna be to go with the pack, but there's pros and cons to it. If everybody makes it through the first 2 or 3 laps clean, usually the grid will spread out enough to where you know, people can survive. But if you're close to anybody when the chain reaction kicks off, you will find yourself one of those dominoes. And we don't really see many exceptions on any of our oval experiences here in Real Rookie Racing. A lot of guys hanging out in the pits. Can't say I blame them. This is one of those races where things kind of are a little bit slower. Not hearing anything from Speed Bump at the moment as far as the rookie broadcast, so we may be without today, unfortunately. Not 100% clear, but we will try and check in regardless. No, I have a secondary plan. What if I do this? Hang on. Oh, that might get confusing. Yeah, I was gonna think about something, but that might get a little confusing. Might have to go without the rookie event here today. I don't know. I'm trying to find a little loophole to it, but no dice just yet. As we latch on with the Brit, who finds himself just under the 23.5 second marker on his first hot lap. Apache, another one who got an opportunity earlier to test out the oval. Wasn't super thrilled with the results, but we do find them back on the grid, giving it another go today. Always nice to see. We've got 10 racers on the rookie oval. It looks like 16 lined up here on the, or sorry, 17. Oh, as immediate contact there with Apache and Josh Fulton. A few guys all trying to get through this oval at the same time. That's what's going to start to happen. And frankly, I hate to say it, but that's what's going to keep things interesting in these 2 20-minute races. We only got 20 minutes left, so we have a little bit of time to catch on to a few more racers. Let's jump over, see if we can grab Woohoo Man. Woohoo Man, I'm inviting you to speak in the interview. If you got a free moment to accept the invite. Oh, there you go. Look at that. What, you got a hotkey?
No, I saw it happen. I was on a straight. I was like, oh, I gotta click that.
Nice, perfect. Well, we figured we'd grab you here before we start to get to the dire moments of qual, but off to a strong pace at the Martinsville Oval. You find yourself only a few points away from Sunday Driver and Patchy, so a strong race today could really shoot you up the ranks. What's your strategy going into these two 20-minute races?
Well, I was hoping you asked me this. My strategy is go fast or go left.
Go fast and go left. I like that. Well, don't forget, if you get stuck up on the grass, the age-old saying, you gotta turn right to go left sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. No, I've been throwing it sideways almost this whole time. Not necessarily on purpose.
Very nice. Well, you've been doing a couple laps here. Let's see. Looking at the live timings, we're seeing 24 laps in qualifying alone. Is there anybody you got your eyes on as a potential competitor, or maybe some potential camaraderie if it's not in the same class?
Shoot, I haven't quite checked the timing screen. Frankly, I'm a little higher up than I'm used to, so. I saw for a moment Botlando was up there, so I'm expecting another good race with him.
Just a little bit.
I usually have very good battles with Botlando, so I'm excited to keep that going.
I did notice your pit box is around the corner, so are you happy that there's not going to be a pit strategy in tonight's event, now that you don't have to go all the way around the pit, or did you think that would have been an advantage for you?
I honestly thought it'd be an advantage, because I was like, if I mess it up and I need to go back to pits really quick, I can just go around that corner, get right out of the pits, hope for the best.
I like where your head's at.
Yeah, but in terms of pit strategy, I wasn't too worried. I was like, I'll have to figure out if there is one, and if there isn't, then fantastic, I'll just drive.
Very nice. Well, speaking of just driving, you got about 18 minutes remaining. You're just shy of that 22-second club, which I know is probably killing you, so I'll let you get focused up with this weather change as well. Woohoo. We hope you have a great one tonight.
All right, thank you so much.
Woohoo, man, with a phenomenal few laps while we were watching there, getting closer and closer, but still not able to crack into that 22. Same goes for a few of these other racers just outside of it. Josh Fulton, most notably, we checked in with him earlier. Going to grab someone that might make me regret it. But let's see if he's available to speak or not. I'm not 100% sure. You gotta accept the invite if you are. It's not who you guys are thinking it is, I'll tell you that much. Are you not even here, you Muppet? Alright, I'm gonna say he's not. We'll move him back. Blame him. And let's see if we can just grab a Mr. Mogo. He's probably on a bit of a hot lap, so he might not get us right away. But Mogo, when you have a moment, if you want to accept the invite to speak. You're right on the cusp here. Oh, that's one way to do it. Yeah, Ash, we did try. I'm sorry, buddy.
There we go.
Hey, how you doing, Mogo?
I'm well, boys. How are y'all?
Doing good, doing good. We've been checking through the grid here, seeing how everybody's feeling about tonight. You, as one of our more seasoned oval racers, are you excited for today's event?
Very excited. You know, Martinsville's a fun place. I've been there personally, so it's fun to get out there in the good old Miata, right?
Nice.
We're here for a good time. We're here for a good time. I'm just hoping to keep competitive because I'm not too good on ovals for some reason.
How's it look compared to the real thing?
You know, it looks pretty good. You know, I'm not as drunk as I was then, so it's kind of hard to remember. But you know, we're there. I will say it's feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident with my little rocket ship here. But we gotta get in the groove. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get it. So you're in quite a hunt here, and kind of a battle for P2, but you guys aren't really completely out of the hunt for Elias, especially if Elias doesn't show. Oh, never mind. Elias is here and performing pretty strong today. But anyway, a big battle for P2 going on with Dancy and Nick Cruz. Nick Cruz doing pretty well at the moment. Dancy not yet on the grid. Well, what's your plan going into today's events?
As always, I'm going to try and keep it up near the top of the pack. You know, obviously try and battle for podium if I can, but especially in a place like this where I'm not as confident as I am on some, you know, street courses, I just want to stay amidst the battle. I know there's going to be the big one at some point, so we're just going to try and stay alive, stay competitive, and take some places when we can.
Man, it seems like everybody's plan for today's event is survival, so you got to start to wonder, like, how could there even be a big one, you know?
You know, if I know anything about us, there will be a big one at some point. We're a very feisty bunch, but I think you'll see some people start to separate from the pack a little bit and start to have their little fights amongst themselves.
Well, we're definitely hoping that you get to be one of them. I know you've been one of the racers to get, unfortunately, caught up in some of the chaos of others. I know 1 or 2 races we saw battles fall apart in front of you and you get taken out in the crossfire. So hopefully we see some survival tactics paying off from you today. We're expecting a strong race, and we'll let you shave off that last couple tenths here to get back up to your group.
I appreciate it, boys. Yeah, I'm hoping for a good one. We're gonna see what we can get.
Godspeed, brother. Alright, so that's Milgo's chipper as ever in the Planet Express Racer. I was hoping to hear from this man here, Bot Lando, currently nursing a lead over Brian number 7, someone who has also not yet joined the grid. So we'll see if maybe they show up or could be taking a drop tonight. Let's see if we can grab Bot Lando for the chat. Bot Lando, if you're here, just accept the invite to speak. Yeah, there you go. You can do it on the straightaway. Oh, there you go. How you doing, bud?
What's up?
How you feeling about your chances tonight?
I'm confident. I should have just did like a couple practice lap. I haven't done any. It's not too bad. I was kind of expecting worse, but I kind of found it good now.
Yeah, it's not too different from our usual. It's just you just can't keep your foot on the gas the whole time, but
Exactly.
you know, light taps here and there. So I'm sure you already know, but you are leading the amateur class, currently only by 1 point though, and really the rest of the grid is pretty close behind, only 9 points separating yourselves and P4. So on a race like today, what's your strategy going into it?
Stay out of trouble. I usually die on this, so you know I won't fight any position. I'll just keep going. I think if I just keep going, I should get a good spot. So that's my plan.
I think that's a pretty good plan there. Now, you've raced with a lot of these guys on ovals before. You've seen how bump drafting can play out. Are you going to be looking to do that at all, or do you think it's not worth it on this kind of a track?
Actually, I don't know. I found it difficult so far this year in quali. I was able to follow a couple of guys, but I kind of lost the draft. How I got in bumping it, I guess. So it's a bit more difficult this time.
Makes sense. And last question before I let you go. We've got 60 minutes at Alton Park to end things for the finale. I know today's going to be a quick one, but do you start getting practice in ahead of the curve for a track like that, or are you just going to wait till the moment of and see how the weather takes you?
I'll probably wait for it. I'll practice that one for the weekend. So yeah, so good. I'm going to finish this one first.
Yeah, got to get through the first one, understandable. Well, you are performed pretty strong here. It looks like you only got one guy to catch up to, and that's Rev174, sitting less than a tenth ahead of you. So I'll let you get to it. 10 minutes remaining. Good luck today.
Thank you. See you guys.
So Lando there in the number 4 racer. A nice little nod to Lando Norris in the McLaren livery. Checking in with some of the other guys on the grid, we see all the way down to P11 has now broken into the 22s, and the rest of the guys not too far off. Over in the rookie race, we have 11 guys down now, and And all of them pretty close together themselves. Thorn Maddox actually managed to find his way into the 22s, as well as Max Yang. T. Sydney with a soul-crushing 23:01. He is just shy of that 22, but I'm sure he'll find it. They got 10 minutes and 17 seconds left on their end of things. So just a few seconds behind. That'll give me a chance to kind of check in on their chaos after the first lap or two of ours. Looks like we actually have one more request for an interview this time. Uncle Osh. Let's see if we can't just get him in the broadcast booth. Give him one more chance. See if he can do it. Osh, you gotta accept your invite to speak.
Yo.
How you doing, buddy?
So I just had to tab out to do that.
Oh, you're alright.
What up?
Not too much, not too much. It looks like you're going for your third and fourth oval race of the day. That's got to be hundreds and hundreds of laps here at Martinsville. And you're still looking to chip into those 22.7s.
Oh, I can't do it. That's too fast.
You're right on the edge there. What do you think is going to be the difference? Do you think you're looking for a good draft or something, or you think there's just a line through that you need?
I don't know, man. Parmesan's Parmesan, isn't it? So obviously he is fast, and the rest of them are American. So I think that's my downfall, to be quite honest with you.
You think it's a home field advantage here on the oval?
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
They know the fans, the atmosphere, it's just all for them.
Have you tried watching the movie Cars in preparation for events like these?
I have very recently actually just finished watching all three of them.
All right, perfect. So do you think that's going to give you any type of competitive advantage in tonight's event, like maybe help you pick up a point or two?
You know, hopefully, that's all I can say. I see myself as Lightning McQueen. I think we have lots in like. I think I can do it.
All right, well, that is definitely some strong confidence there. We're glad to hear it. Now, in your race up in the expert class, you're actually only 3 points away from Parmesan, as some of these reverse grid races haven't really gone in his favor. Are you hoping or expecting to see that tonight, or are you looking to take advantage of anything like that tonight?
I mean, reverse grid. Hopefully the same happens. Hopefully I can get away. Because they're just gonna fly away from me this first race. I'm playing for fourth, maybe fifth.
Yeah, I mean, with your current time there, you are definitely sitting kind of smack in the middle, but we'll see what happens when race time comes around. Now, you only got a few minutes left. I'll let you get back out there and see if you can find that 22.7. We certainly believe in you. Just gotta believe in yourself, bud.
I will. Thanks for the kind words.
Alright, and that was El Garito. We are hoping to see that 22.7. Full disclosure, I do think he's going to hit it, but I'll never say that to his face. If he asks, I don't think he has it in him. But off the record, I definitely think he can do it. He's doing a great job this season. We'll move on over to some of the rest of the grid here, checking in on Woohoo Man, just shy of breaking into that 22-second club. He's actually got the beginnings of a strong lap to do it, but loses that time on the final corner. Oop, with a little bit of a bump against the wall. He has some difficulty making it all the way around. So almost sees that 22 while we're watching. Same goes for Marty McBride, Patchy, and Big Dean Energy. Man, those guys are right on the edge. We're gonna jump in with Elias Flynn, who's kind of using a little bit of a draft to his advantage. 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Oop, as Elias pulls in to the pits. We'll see any of this kind of works out. Fox and Sam had a little bit of miscontact there. Home draft goes wrong. Sam goes into the wall. Josh having a pretty strong race tonight. Currently sitting in P9, doing pretty good at catching up and holding off most of his grid. I think right now he's looking to get up to Bontlando and Seb Bellew next. Rev not too far ahead, but got almost a 10th at the moment. We also have Mogo nipping at his heels, so he's not really going to be looking to give up any position anytime soon. Again, we are still at the qualifying stages, but he's going to be trying to find whatever time he can to make sure he doesn't get knocked out of the top 10 here at race start. Gonna jump over now to Nick Cruz in the number 5 racer. He is currently only a few hundredths off of Articulate Fox, sitting in P3. Those guys all honestly only a few hundreds apart from P1 down to P5, where El Garito did find that 22.7 that we were talking about. So we knew he was capable of doing it, and pull it off he does. Pretty proud of him there. Oh, as we come into a large pack of racers here on the grid, all trying to make their way around for a final few laps wherever they can find it. As they're all looking for their final bump drafting opportunities. At this point, it's getting pretty tough for anybody to really make improvements without the help of maybe the draft of a car in front. Some of these guys sitting just outside the 23s might find that final moment or two where they can, but it's going to be pretty difficult for them, as the wind isn't quite where it was when people were setting those times. Neither is the track temps. It's not all the same. But at least it's starting to clear up. That'll make things a little bit easier for them. We're gonna let the announcer bot take over for just the last minute or two here of qual. We will be right back for the racing side.
Bontlando is P8. Patchy is P9. Sebastian Beaulieu is P7. Marty McBriar from Cyprus is 14th. Sebastian Beaulieu from Canada is 7th. El Garrido is 5th. Rev 174 is 6th. Big Dean Energy is P15. Sebastian Beaulieu is 7th. Big Dean Energy is P15. Patchy is P10. Sam S is P13. Patchy is 11th. The qualifying session is now in overtime. Sebastian Beaulieu is P8. Sebastian Beaulieu improved his 6th with a 0:22.880. 0.155 off pole. Rev 174 is 7th.
All right, we are back. I know we got a minute here up until the race. So not too many changes to the grid. Few guys creeping into those 22.7s, but nothing too crazy. Pretty much top to bottom here. A tight grid the way that we expected it to be. Same goes for the rookie event. So it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get a stream from Speed Bump today for the rookie race. So apologies out to the rookie guys. I know we usually have those broadcasted, but we are going to get that coverage sorted for the next one. Obviously, the finale is going to be a big event.
Good evening, buddy.
Joe, look who it is. Perfect timing, bud.
Hey, how's it going? Sorry about that. I've been
The race session is at Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, 6 USA.
That is perfect timing.
The wind speed is 7 km from the east-northeast. Buggy entering the pits is P31.
We'll see.
Josh Fulton is first.
I saw this should be a very interesting race tonight. Oval, not the typical race that we have, but going to be a good one. Very close racing as always.
That it will. So from 30 seconds left, just do a real quick top to bottom. Up front, it looks like we've got Elias Flynn, Fox, Parmesan, Nick Cruz, El Garritos, Seb Bellew, Rev 174, Josh, Woohoo, Bot Lando, Patchy, Mogo, Sam, that's going to be the number 6 car, Marty McBriar, Big Dean Energy, Brett Anderson, and the Inferno in the back to round things off. We're going to jump back onto Elias here as we kick things away for week 6. 20 minutes of this short oval, only 20-second laps. This is going to be a lot of business today. Now, I know you joined us a little bit late, Jawa. Did you get a chance to check in with any of the qualifying action?
I saw a tiny bit, about 2-3 minutes. I just saw the very tail end, but not enough to really get a feel for what these guys are going to be experiencing.
So you can see these guys are very close together. Not a lot of room for error kind of anywhere around the board. We're going to jump in with the pack because that kind of seems to be where there's some wheel-to-wheel stuff breaking out. And we'll see if anyone can make some early moves. But, oh, and speaking of the devil, we see our first moment of contact there. That's going to be Big Dean Energy. Gets a little bump draft he wasn't ready for. And a few guys get caught up in the mix of that one. That'll be Brett Anderson and Big Dean on the back foot here. This is tough. Once you break away from the grid, there's not a lot of spots to go. And even if someone in front of you makes a mistake, we see that wiggle from Woohoo Man cost Mogo and Patchy a little bit of time there on their hunt for their cars ahead. As we say, all the accents in the back of the grid, Articulate Fox gives us a little run for our money as he gets close to Parmesan, but Parmesan sees the opportunity and tries to tuck in behind the bumper of Elias Flynn and sneak away if he can. So we see this grouping sticking together in the back once more, though. Marty McBriar cutting inside on Mogo, who has a little bit more acceleration out of the final turn. As we see evidence of a big one over in the rookie end. I think that's going to be Seb Bellew. Ooh, a Rev 174 actually, who gets put on the back foot there, following contact with Seb Bellew, it seems. So a little bit of a spread in the group here. And that, actually, that gap that looks that big is that only 2 seconds from Seb Bellew to Nick Cruz, but just due to the size of the track, that's a pretty good stretch to have to make up. Are you familiar with oval racing at all, Jawa? You've been on a few of these, right?
I have indeed. I know how big team play is here and how big it is to work together to keep those gaps small, especially when you have a 2-second gap like this on an oval this small. You know, you got to be real tight to the bumper of the other person, and if you don't have somebody to draft with, you do lose a lot of time with the guys ahead.
Yeah, now the consensus is this one, because it's not as flat out as the others, it does require a little bit of finesse around the corners. We haven't seen a lot of guys willing to go that teamwork route. So it's been kind of interesting as Marty and Mogo switching positions again. These guys really having a nice little back and forth in the early moments of the race. 8 laps in, and we're starting to see positions settle a little bit, but not too comfortably as Patchy picks up a spot on Woohoo just as we say that.
I'm gonna go grab my dinner. Un momento.
Do what you gotta do. We'll let him do that as Marty's gonna use Woohoo to his advantage a little bit, but early on the brakes, Mogo I don't think was expecting that. Goes out wide. We see some more big collisions going on in the rookie event. A few guys separated by quite a large stretch over there, so looks like chaos reigns. Oh, as Marty tries to have a quick avoidance of Woo Man. I think he was expecting that to go a little bit more south than it did. Finds himself at the back of the pack trying to catch up to Brett Anderson. Big D Energy and Rev 174 trying to work together to catch back up to the grid ahead. Dean just needs to get up to the Inferno, so not in a bad spot to do so. Parmesan and Flynn, oh, those were the 2 front runners, now find themselves all the way at the back. That is a huge, huge change. I'm not sure exactly what happened. We didn't catch that one, but that does put Articulate Fox up front with El Garito not too far behind. We see Botlando trying to work with Seb Bellew to close that 2.6 second gap if they can, but that's going to be a tough order. We see 3 wide for just a moment as the Inferno, Mogo, and Woohoo Man can't decide on positions. It is going to cost them a little bit of time and start to let Patchy run out front, but Mogo decides to settle the argument and take the lead, so he'll try and close the gap to that position 7 car from across the pond. That's actually our second number 4 car that we have on the grid. And collisions extravaganza going on over in the rookie end of things. Very hard to tell who's surviving at this point. It seems like there are still a few battles going on. Not everybody has been separated by these misfortunes, but Thorn Maddox is starting to run away with it. We'll see if lap traffic comes into play in their event. Speaking of lap traffic, we do see Articulate Fox starting to catch up a little bit to Marty McBriar, so that's where things will start to get interesting, as these 3 still can't decide where they want to be. They've lost only about a 10th, it seems, to Patchy up ahead. But they're going to need to start working together if they want to make something happen. Looks like Woohoo Man has a little bit of a spin, I think a collision with the wall, so he's going to drop down to P14, and he'll have quite a speedy tow in front and quite a speedy racer trying to hunt him down behind. The Inferno now trying to use that separation to his advantage. It's turned into a 1-man battle now that they don't have to worry about someone else taking advantage of the fight. I'm sure we're going to see them fight a little bit harder. While they try and get that settled, and we do see the blue flag start to fly for Marty McBriar. Checking in with Bont Lando, trying to catch up to Seb Bellew. Managing to stay within that draft, but just can't find that extra 10th or 2 along the way that I'm sure he's looking for. You see Marty McBriar has a little bit of a collision with the environment, so that's going to put him right at the nipping, or rather put Fox nipping at his heels. And we'll see what Fox does with his opportunity. So Fox cuts to the inside here. Looks like he might get the clean pass. Marty's going to have some good acceleration, so he'll at least be able to sneak in with the toe. What does that mean for El Garrito? I think he's going to have to wait another lap or 2 to get that same opportunity, because Fox is going to be pulling Marty along a little bit here, which will kind of help him out. Yeah, you can see Fox is starting to pull away a little bit more from El Garrito as he tries to figure out the best way around. Woohoo Man and Articulate Flynn seem to be doing a little bit of side-by-side battling there, but Flynn comes out on top as Woohoo wasn't ready for the late dive into the turn. Flynn carrying that pace through with some force. Whoever put 10 on Fox, that was quite the call out, as it seems. 11 minutes remaining though, so anything really can happen. You do see Rev 174 looking for a move on Sam. Haven't seen too many passing opportunities come and go, but it looks like Rev's determined to get one here. He can feel the pressure from that German racer Parmesan behind. The number 48 car barreling down really has made a good dent in his way through the grid. Elias Flynn doing the same, now only about 2 seconds back. Parmesan, that's opposed to the 2.5 we saw earlier, rather less than. So both racers really doing a good job of proving their own. I do see Patchy possibly looking for a move on Josh Fulton. We're going to try and see if he can make something happen there. Sorry. As we tuned away and just barely missed some serious contact. It puts Josh Fulton into the middle of the grid. Mogo tries to teleport out of the way to avoid causing a big one, but the damage has been done. I think that's going to put Mogo back a lap, unfortunately. Maybe it was an instinctive teleport to pits just to avoid, but that's going to be tricky. Articulate Fox and Garrito switch places somewhere along the way, as I'm not sure if maybe they ended up having to avoid some type of contact or collision from everybody and the chaos up ahead. This battle for P1 turning into a little bit of a shootout here as Nick Cruz looking to lap up the pieces if things go south. 10 minutes still remain. These guys have a lot of work to do, so they can't mess each other up yet. 0.4 seconds now only separating them and Nick Cruz, who's officially in the hunt at this point. We see him nipping at the heels of El Garrito around that corner, so definitely only a late break or 2 away from being in the picture, as we've got 3 cars now fighting it out. A lot of time still remaining. 26.6 laps in. I'm sure these guys will end up over 50 altogether, especially at the pace they're going. We see them all cross the line with low 23s. Marty McBriar has a 22.9, so he's trying to keep up with them, and that's going to help him close some time up to Sam S in front. We do see Josh Fulton was spun out long enough to where Mogo is not too far behind, so Mogo will get the opportunity to try and make up a position there if he can. Which does hurt in the battle with Nick Cruz that Mogo's got going on, but there are 2 races today, so we'll see what comes to that. We're going to jump over to Nick Cruz's perspective, just so we can watch this a little bit more from the rear. Although these guys, I was going to say, are separating it out, as Big Dean Energy and Rev 174 have a little bit of a collision. I think Sam S does as well. Mogo and Sam do. trying to see where all of this chaos was as it all hits the live timings at once. But we see all the racers back on the grid. Mogo has made his way back into the pits again. So that's 2 unfortunate events for Mogo. I think they're going to chalk that up to broadcaster's curse at this point, as Nick Cruz is right behind El Garito, and Parmesan finds himself all the way up in P7 following the madness. I almost don't want to look away in case these guys get caught up in the next batch.
Oh, definitely. This race here with El Garito and Nick Cruz there really giving Fox the ability to run away, and also giving Parmesan time to catch back up in leaders here. So we still have, what, 8 minutes left in this race. It gives them plenty of time to get right back up in that top fight here.
Yeah, I mean, you can see a very long line of MX5s looking for their opportunities to close in. Seb Bellew, the P4 car, a little bit further back, so all these are going to be lapped cars that we're looking at. But Parmesan now battling it out for P6. I think he's going to take it before the corner, or take it around the corner. Slots in front of the Inferno. So he's determined as well. So one mistake from these guys, if they cause any sort of slowdown, and that could be some serious damage in their lead against Parmesan here.
Yeah, for sure, most definitely. And this is the time to attack Parmesan. He's got nobody in front of him to get the draft off, which we've seen is huge in these oval races. So we might see a couple guys make some opportunistic moves to get around him, especially when he has nobody to push him forward or pull him forward.
Yeah, now we do see Bot Lando and Seb Bellew going back and forth. These guys have been together for the first 14 minutes of the race here, so definitely exciting for them to continue racing this closely. Gonna take a little peek though, because Elias Flynn seems to be trying to put the moves on the Inferno. He's got himself to within 1.5 seconds of Parmesan, so his pace is good. Can he close that gap even further over the course of these next 6 minutes? That's a pretty big gap to close in just 6 minutes time. He'll need some sort of help, I'd imagine. I don't think there's going to be enough laps to really do that, but you never know. We've seen all sorts of things go wrong here today. As Big Dean Energy and Woohoo Man go for a little side-by-side action into turn 4. Woohoo puts the car a little bit sideways. It seems like Dean's got the pace, but just can't find a way around Woohoo based on this limited viewing we've got so far. Josh Fulton taking it out wide to let these guys continue their fight. Knows he's blue flags, doesn't want to interfere too much, as we have Mogo withdrawing from the race. Didn't see that one happen. Ooh, I thought we were going to see a bump draft for a moment there from Breyer, but doesn't seem like he's going to take the friendly approach. He'll go for the position on Big Dean Energy down the main straightaway and try and cut that inside. Dean will opt to follow him. Is not going to defend too hard and see if maybe McBrier can get around Woohoo and he can follow him through. El Garito and Nick Cruz still locked in that head-to-head battle. They've now let Articulate Fox get 2 seconds away, which might not sound like much, but with only 4 minutes remaining, that's a big lead to try and make up. Nick Cruz able to hold a little bit more consistency here in the final few laps of the race. Say final few, but it's really like 10. As this 3-man battle between Sam, Woohoo, oh, went a little bit too far back, Woohoo, Big Dean, and Marty McBrier, shifts to Marty McBrier. So McBrier ends up out in front. Big Dean Energy also, as predicted, trying to use that pass as an opportunity to get the same chance. But not only is he not able to find it, Sam looking to make a move here. So Dean not going to be happy about that one, as him and Woohoo are not in the same class. what Woohoo and Marty are. So Woohoo's trying to stick with that fight where he can. Now Dean just needs to get back ahead of Sam here in these final 3 minutes. It's definitely doable. It would be a huge advantage for the overall season if he can. Oh, and he looks for that chance around this inside lane. Going to look for the squeeze as he's got Botlando very close behind, probably blue flagging both of them. And Botlando's going to help out a little bit because Dean is, or sorry, not Dean, Sam's not going to be able to cut back down and follow Dean right away, which allows Dean a little bit of breathing room, but probably not for too long as Botlando's going to want to get around and technically has the right of way to do so. I'm sure Botlando is not looking to let Seb get back up in front. Now we got a bit of a shootout here between the number 14 and the number 4. Number 4 car is on a lead lap, so hopefully Dean's going to try and let him in and slot in behind. See a little bit a tap on the brakes to save both races. Does see the defending car, or sorry, the attacking car of Seb Bellew behind. Is going to have to try and account for that as well. Dean's got a lot going on at the moment. I don't mean to tune away, but El Garito finally has another opportunity to get back into P2. Can they make the most of it? Elias Flynn dipping underneath 1 second to Parmesan. Less than 2 minutes remaining again. It's going to be a tricky one to get in front of. Event, we do still have a few battles shaking it out the same way we do here. Is El Garito getting closer and closer. Ooh, Big Dean Energy goes to pits, puts him and Josh Fulton into battle with each other for the moment, I think. Or Dean's been in pits, I want to say, long enough that Josh is caught up. Man, El Garito really struggling to get around. He's getting close, but just cannot find that last 10th on Nick Cruz. I think at this point he's just kind of hoping for lap traffic to play a role where it can. We are set up for an interesting reverse grid though, with Parmesan and Elias Flynn starting a little bit further up the grid than Articulate Fox and El Garito. Four guys, or sorry, the 5 racers who have all been performing pretty strongly today. Articulate Fox, though, in a league of his own, up front, 4 seconds away from the 2 racers that we see battling it out for P2 at the moment. They are not the only battle still happening here in the final few moments. Oh, as I say that, we come across the line. Holy crap. It ended just like that by only 100th of a second. El Garito does manage to take it on that final corner. I thought he was going to have more time.
Me as well, for sure. These laps just fly by, and like you said, it just happened. The last quarter was all he needed. Just kind of put his nose there and then ended up on top.
We completely butchered that in the broadcast, so apologies to the racers with those strong performances at the end there. But we didn't even realize that was the last lap. But so there it goes. Articulate Fox takes the lead. El Garito on the final corner takes it by 100th. We did not give it the reaction it deserved. That really is one hell of a finish. 4:10 separating Botlando and Seb Bellew. Botlando does manage to hang on. And we see Parmesan in P6. Elias Flynn within, I want to say, what's that there? A little more than 1.3 seconds to Parmesan. Then we've got the Inferno and Apache barely separated by a couple tenths there. Up and down the grid, close races all around. Again, apologies that we missed a few of those final race moments. We just didn't think the race would be over.
Definitely a fantastic race there. I do think that Josh Fulton has himself set up really good for this next race. He saw he had some misfortune there and saw the the advantages he'll get if he just finishes the race. I'm not sure what happened to Mogo or Big Dean Energy there. Could have been a fuel miscalculation from Dean. I did see that Mogo had quite a few incidents that last race, but good on Josh there for finishing that race out, giving himself the P1 advantage for the start of next race.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna help and go a long way. I gotta say, it's a good thing that a lot of these guys didn't rage quit after those early incidents, because all those late race incidents came to play, man. That really shifted around these rankings here. It would seem like a done deal. You can, if you look at the 10-minute mark, even those standings are very different than what we ended up with here at the end of the race. So just goes to show with these oval races, you got to keep your hammer down until the flag is waving. I'm excited for race 2.
I'm as well. This is my first ever oval race I've been able to commentate, so it's an interesting one.
All right, looks like these guys are in their overtime, so we got a second here until the race begins. So just a little insert for you. The rookie race has begun, and I've got about 17 collisions on turn 1.
Oh, very interesting there.
Yep. 2 racers have pulled from the server. Or, no, sorry, are pulled about half a lap back. They're moving.
Okay. As long as they're moving.
That's how these races go, man. You never know what's going to happen, though. But again, only half a lap back. You saw what happened with this race. Half a lap was only 10 seconds. That would have put them about P5 at the end of this one. So just got to keep moving. Oop, more collisions there, as they're going to gain a couple positions here. Looks like that's actually Thorn Maddox who got caught up in that one. So that's the one who won the first race for those guys. Now finds himself in the 3-man battle at the back of the pack over in the rookie grid. But the rookie grid is not where we are today. We are over with the pro event. We got Josh Fulton leading things off here in the reverse grid, followed by Brett Anderson, Woohoo, Sam GT3, Marty McBriar, Rev174, Patchy, The Inferno. That's going to be Elias Flynn, and then Parmesan, Rev174, Lando, Nick Cruz, El Garito, and Articulate Fox at the rear. So being the champion doesn't always have its perks, as Fox finds himself all the way at the back of a grid that's pretty tough to get by on this type of a track. But lights are on, and away we go to wrap up Season 6. Parmesan with an electric start gets right alongside the Inferno, but it's going to have to take the outside. Oh, as we've got contact off the rip, that's going to be Patchy, Rev174, and Elias Flynn all together in the start. So that's going to be a tricky one, as we see another few racers getting tight around the outside here. Lando lightly brushing up with the wall, is going to have to play it close as he tries to stick with Nick Cruz as they work their way through the grid. I think I see a little bit of chaos about to unfold, as Parmesan's going to cut to the inside and make this a 3 wide around turn 2, and finds himself in front. I think he picked up 3 positions on that corner.
He definitely did. He made a big lunge there, and it worked out in his benefit.
Yeah, he is a man on a mission now. Only 1 second separating himself and Marty McBriar, who's at the back of that top pack, so to speak. Oh, and has a little bit of a run-in with the grass. So Marty will now find himself at the heels of Parmesan. Will he be able to get around? Oh, Woohoo Man has a little bit of misfortune, and that causes a little bit of a holdup to the pack behind. So Parmesan will be out in no man's land, about 2 seconds between himself and Josh Fulton. That's a lot of pressure on that number 23 car up front. So hopefully it doesn't get to him anytime soon. Oop, as that didn't work, we're going to try and jump on with Marty McBriar, as he's got that main pack behind him. And look at all these cars fighting for positions here, trying to find any spot they can. That is a tight grid. And the most fun part about the reverse grid is that you get all these guys really working together to try and cut through. As we see some light rubbing here, but rubbing is racing as everybody keeps moving along. Oh, up until that point, that's Patchy getting caught up in another one, this time getting spun out like a Beyblade, not able to carry on through, so he will find himself at the back of the pack. Seems like Rev 174 and Woohoo Man also end up getting slowed down, but Rev keeps moving, so it'll be Woohoo and Patchy in the battle at the back here. But Brett Anderson and Rev 174 gonna have to do a little bit of teamwork here to get back up to the main grid. So they had a nice, clean first 3 minutes of the race, so that was pretty good.
No, not bad at all. I mean, it's very tight track, you know, and there's many cars. There's definitely bound to be some incidents. These guys are definitely a little more aggressive in race one. They really want to get those times in, as well as get that just singular position as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't see anybody looking to concede positions, whether or not they're in the same class at this stage. Oh, speaking of conceding positions, Josh Fulton letting Parmesan go by. Josh is one of our more strategic racers, though. That one I would see coming. Josh knows that Parmesan is not in the same race, and he's going to try and use him as a tow to keep some of these other racers at bay. Marty McBriar, the one to be worried about.
Most definitely, that was a huge move for Josh Fulton. I mean, leading the race is always fun, but being that P2 gives him less of the stress, you know, as well as the fact he can use that tow the entire way. He knows that Parmesan is just a tad faster around this circuit currently, and will give him a really nice tow away from this pack that is hunting people down currently.
And speaking of hunting, we do see Articulate Fox looking for a move on Marty McBriar, but same with Bot Lando trying to find the way past the Goober racer. That Goober is running a tight line, so the number 4 car gonna have to work pretty hard for it. At least manages to get wheel to wheel along the straight. Gonna have to go a little late on the brakes here, and he does. And that should be enough to make the move and allow us to jump over to Elias Flynn, who's got a front row seat to some impending chaos as Articulate Fox looking to get by Marty McBriar. I think that's actually Woohoo Man up front there.
I think that is as well, being lapped there by Joshua Fulton and Parmesan.
A little bit of close contact there between Elias and Marty, but nothing to shake them up. As they keep moving on through, we're going to jump over to Seb Bellew. He's kind of at the back of this pack. Oh, as we see a spin further down the grid, that's going to be the Inferno, following a little bit of a love tap with Bot Lando and Rev 174. The Inferno getting on the gas here is going to be kind of battling with Woohoo. We'll jump over to Bot Lando and Rev 174 just to see where they ended up in that. Kind of in a little bit of no man's land, so nothing to be super concerned about, it seems. I do see Seb Bellew looking for the move on Sam if he can make it. As El Garito is starting to try and work his way up from behind. He's within half a second of these guys, so he'll be close in this fight momentarily. as Marty McBriar falls another position now down to P7, which is really going to help out Josh Fulton in the long run. We're going to try and get all the way to the back of this pack if we can. Just really want to grab on to the whole grouping, as Nick Cruz, I'm noticing, is almost within a second. So Garito, knowing the pace that Nick Cruz has, is going to want to start to work his way through this traffic. He needs a little bit of a cushion, and with only 14 minutes to go, he needs to find it soon. Problem is that inside lane is so powerful. You might get a good acceleration on the outside, but there's not a ton you can do. Seb Bellew kind of helping out a little bit as he's going to back these guys up into Nick Cruz. And he's going to have a three-man battle of some speedsters hot on his heels. That's going to be some pressure for the number 22 car this time.
But definitely, he needs to make it through this pack as quick as possible and build that gap to Nick Cruz behind him.
Finally gets a position on Marty McBriar, so we'll see some increasing in time, at least this go around. Managing to hold the inside currently on the way past Woohoo, the lapped car, and is using Seb as a little bit of a tow to work his way through. So you can see some potentially stronger laps coming from the Marlboro number 2 racer, Valgarito here. Jump back to Marty because Marty is still well within the hunt here. We're also keeping our eyes up top there, where Elias Flynn is only 0.4 seconds away from Articulate Fox, who has closed the gap to Josh Fulton down to 1.5 seconds. Again, not in the same class, so all those guys kind of are good to let each other go. It's Fox who needs to hunt down Parmesan, currently sitting comfortably up front. Nick Cruz just kind of sitting shy of this battle here. Only 1.2 seconds, 1.1 seconds away. It's been pretty consistent, but hasn't been able to pick up the pace to start to apply pressure to some of these cars up front. Seb Bellew now falls to P8, so he'll be the chase car, looking to get involved with the guys up front. El Garito trying to pick up one more on Sam S if he can, and it becomes a battle of pace trying to catch up to Elias Flynn and Josh Fulton up front. We see a little bit of contact between them. Now it's just going to be a little bit of a bump draft, from what I can tell, looking at the leaderboard, as we see Lando starting to get pretty close to Nick Cruz. I think these guys are going to turn this into a 6-man battle for P5. Lot of shifts still to go. Only 11 minutes remaining. Jawa, any predictions as we reach the back half slowly?
I'm seeing that Articulate Fox is pushing, and is going to be overtaking Joshua Fulton here, or Josh Fulton. And I think that Josh will let him by and just keep that draft there. And I'm seeing this this battle for P5 that you're talking about. I anticipate it's going to get super hectic and super aggressive towards the last 5 minutes of this race, when every single overtake counts.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen stronger laps from Nick Cruz than what he's putting up at the moment. Looks like Lando is trying to pass on the hint to him to pick up the pace. I'm excited to see where it all shakes out. These bump drafts definitely going a long way here in this server. In the rookie end of things, looks like the grid's once again getting a little bit shaken up by catastrophes, but everybody hanging on nonetheless. Fox, as you predicted, creeping closer and closer, now within 0.4 seconds. So I'm thinking before the 8-minute mark, we'll see that pass happen. Check back in by then, but Lando not looking to be aggressive with Nick Cruz. Actually almost cost his own lap a little bit of time there, trying to give him a bump, as he wants both of these racers to be involved in that battle going on up ahead. You can see Marty McBriar and Seb Bellew going back and forth as they try and catch up to Sam S. El Garito clinging on to the pace of the cars up front. But we're going to look away for just a moment as Josh Fulton now finds himself leading a pack. I'm not sure he wants to lead, as he does leave space on the inside for Fox. I believe it's going to be intentional, as you predicted. Does he do the same for Elias? Seems like he does. So Fulton focused on his own consistency, his own race. This could be a real big one for him in his class this season.
Yeah, all Josh has to do is just focus on his line and just staying up with his leaders here. We'll just pull him further and further away from the pack behind.
Yeah, and I see he's not really trying to fight Flynn. He's trying to go a little bit slow and let him by, but Flynn just taking a few awkward lines. I think he's getting nervous of that number 23 car. Doesn't quite have the confidence to go for the pass just yet. But Josh is leaving that space. He's trying to stick just enough car's length away so that both these guys can carry some speed through. And Flynn isn't quite grabbing that just yet. At the 8-minute mark, we've got Articulate Fox with less than 4 seconds to go to Parmesan up ahead. He's definitely climbing on the pace, taking a look at things. Their last lap separated by 0.2, so he's got potential if Parmesan makes some mistakes. Fulton letting Elias go by finally. Elias now has 2 seconds to make up to Articulate Fox in the battle for P2, and we'll take a moment here to let some of the rest of the grid go by. El Garito and the Inferno, followed by, I think that was too many cars for me to name off, so we're gonna loop on with Patchy, as he finds himself just shy of this whole battle for P6 going on.
Yeah, this battle just seems to have collected more and more cars as the races elapsed here.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, we've got 5 guys close in the hunt for P8. I wouldn't be surprised if Botlando gets around Sam in the next turn or two here and turns or helps close that gap to Marty McBriar in front. Tune in for a little bit of that side-by-side action as Botlando managed to hold that inside line. That's going to be Nick Cruz behind him. I didn't notice that before. That's another racer who's got some strong pace and can help kind of push this group a little bit further up the grid. Man, Sam is not giving that position up easily, making the outside lane look way faster than it typically has been tonight. Doing a great job of holding that pace there. Botlando not able to find a way by. Looking a little bit further back, Rev 174 trying to work his way by Patchy if he can. Both of these guys have officially joined the drafting train. Nick Cruz looking to close 2/10 if he can to really seal the deal. Oh, as Marty McBriar has a little bit of a spin. That's going to put him further back in the pack. He'll be rejoining just behind Parmesan and ahead of Articulate Fox. So maybe he can give Fox a little bit of a tow, as again, he's got quite the pace. Just a little bit of misfortune tonight. Speaking of misfortune, Nick Cruz and Patchy, as Rev splits the gap and keeps his race alive, but finds himself without a buddy as this battle for P6 falls apart, now turning into just a battle for P7, which Botlando seems to be winning. As he pulls ahead, moving into lap 38. Sam not looking to give up the position too easily. Gonna stick a nose in, but Botlando does have some pretty strong acceleration. It's gonna take a few more late breaks to get that back, which Sam is showing he's not opposed to. Sam, listening to the broadcast, I think I offended him because he is fighting hard here. He's trying to get this position back from Botlando. Taking a look at it, these guys are both leaders in their classes, so it would stand to benefit them not to let the guys behind catch up. But I think at this point in the race, they're just looking for a little bit of fun. I can't say I blame them.
No, not at all. I mean, it wouldn't hurt them just bump draft each other and just build that gap. But I have been guilty of this myself. Just want to have a good race and have a good time out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I've found myself letting off the throttle or pushing a little harder than I needed to just to enjoy a little bit of a battle with someone else on the grid. Seems these guys are definitely doing a good job of that. Sam slotting in behind Botlando, going to pick up the toe now, but kind of settle in just a little bit. Speaking of settling in, I do see Rev 174 trying to creep in on this one. That is a concern for Botlando. Rev 174 is in his class, so Botlando can't get too comfortable. They only have 3 minutes to go. But that is not enough time to get cozy. One mistake and Rev will jump all over it here in the final few laps. You see Brett Anderson losing a position to the Inferno back further in the grid. Ooh, as we see Woohoo Man spun out on the side of turn 2. Definitely unfortunate there.
See how briefly they're creeping in or onto the bumper of Josh Fulton there. I assume that Josh will be letting him by pretty seamlessly as well, just to keep that draft alive and stay ahead of people in front.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Josh has a pretty big gap between himself and the next member of his class. About 6 seconds there. Oop, as we see Woohoo Man off to the side again, struggling with that inside corner. I don't know. I might see Josh putting up a little bit of a fight just because these guys don't really have too much to gain in these final few minutes, don't really have too much to lose. Might make him work for it. Which, for the sake of our viewing, he seems to be. Minute and 37 seconds remaining. Plenty of opportunity still to go for that number 2 Marlboro racer. He's sniffing at the bumper of Josh Fulton, but Josh doing good to stay in front, leaving him just enough room, but not enough to make a solid move. And with that little bit of extra acceleration on the outside, Josh is able to at least stay alongside, or was able to. Now he's going to be on a little bit more of the back foot as we enter the final minute of racing. So we're trying to check around and see where everybody is at. I know there's a lot of possibilities for some final moments here, but I think at this point we are going to have the grid the way that it lies. Patchy, Josh, and El Garito having a little bit of a friendly battle at this point in the final 26 seconds. So that'll land us at about 52 laps total. As Patchy's trying to look for a little bit of a side-by-side action, so we'll tune in for that one, as I think Patchy might actually go for the move. To be determined. A lot of these guys don't have too much left in the race. Just taking a peek to see if anyone's going to go for any fun positions. I think Patchy is going to fall off, so Parmesan coming across the line to end things. Articulate Fox only about a second behind. Flynn not too far behind that, as we've got a lot of our grid coming through to wrap up week 6. I mean, that was a pretty good race, all said and done.
It was great.
A lot more cars on that lead lap than usual. We ended up with 8 cars on the lead lap. I feel like, or 9 cars. There you go. That's pretty good. We'll take that.
Most definitely.
And on that note, oh wow, yeah, looks like they've been doing some donuts over here. Well, on that note, we'll have to let them go. Jawa, I appreciate you joining me for the races here. That was a fun one.
I'm most definitely glad I could be here.
I'll catch you for the next one.